I got trying to keep up with it right. That's why I was like, I got to get hit to that one. Then that makes me feel like that insurance commercial where they're like, "I'm here to prevent you from becoming your parents."
Welcome back, shooters, for another excellent episode of Shootin' Straight, a handball podcast with JD and Joey. Today, we are joined by none other than a good friend of mine from way back in the day and indoor football player, Jourdan Wickliffe. Jourdan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, JD. I want to thank you guys for having me on the show. Really appreciate the opportunity and the invite, man. For sure.
Excellent. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
I used to have a podcast back about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So you
somewhat
familiar with it. Yep. Somewhat familiar with it. Enjoy it. Ready to, excited. Have a good time. Good talk. Good conversation.
Excellent. Joey, as always, how we doing?
Excellent. I'm very excited that Jourdan's on with us, and I'm looking forward to an exciting conversation.
See, this is where Joey normally says, if I was doing any better, it would be illegal, because he's going to be a lawyer. So, anyways, for those of you that are new to the show, as my Zoom freezes here, if you look beneath me, you can see our topics for the day. Hopefully, I didn't lose my internet connection. Everybody's frozen, so I'm just going to keep talking and hope for the best. Okay, everybody's back. But as I said, topics are beneath me. So as I said, my man Wick, has played in a lot of football, a lot of different levels, a lot of different places. So we figured we'd just kind of let you talk about, your rise through football, where you've been, a little bit where you are now, kind of thing. If you wouldn't mind telling our audience here.
Yeah, definitely. From the top, started at St. Charles.
St. Charles, hail.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Columbus, Ohio. And then from there, I went and played my college ball at Eastern Illinois from 2011 to 2015, 4 years. 3-year starter, I guess. I started my first year as well, but it was midway through the season. Then from there, 4-year starter there. Then from there, I had an opportunity to go to camp and rookie camp in Philly with the Eagles. Had a good opportunity out there, good thing, good show. Then went out to Cedar Rapids for indoor football league in the IFL. Had a good first season. Played corner, which was a new position for me at the time. Then transitioned after that, good season. After the first season there in Cedar Rapids, got a call here from Dixie Wooten here at in Des Moines with the Barnstormers. And then spent the last 2 seasons, 2018 and 19, with the Barnstormers.
Iowa Barnstormers. What do you feel about that name? Like, what do you get? Are those like a mascot like Stormy, or is it? I'm not sure what the mascot situation is.
I truly have no idea. Still, the guy. I guess it's a pilot.
Okay.
And I guess they were storming the barns, I guess. So the mascot guy he's got, and if you've ever seen our helmets, we've got the goggles on the helmet, the big thick goggles right here in the band. Yeah, so in game we got a lot of crap for that though.
So you're saying that the goggles are like a bad look, but what do you think about the new Columbus Wild Dogs? Have you seen those logos and those helmets?
I saw the picture that that you sent me, and
yeah. Joey, have you seen these?
I have. Those are
it's something,
interesting.
Man. It is something. That was the most action I've ever gotten on a tweet in my entire life, so I'm like pretty excited about that. So, but yeah, that's another thing. Like we struggle with, like Joey and I both owning and operating and being involved with our own kind of startup teams. We want to make sure our gear's looking fresh, and I think Joey has a pretty cool look with Detroit. The Detroit Handball logo is basically. You got anything quick and handy, Joey, to show them? I don't have anything, but basically there's a statue. What's the sign of Detroit or something like that? The guy Spirit of Detroit. It's this guy like holding the world in his hand, and Joey like made him holding a handball, and it's got the city skyline in the background. It looks really sharp. Columbus Armada. We just got a guy in a boat, so I don't know. We got worked on those things, but we're it's something. Go ahead.
I gotta ask. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just rambling.
Sorry. So, who is? So I know you've been playing in Des Moines for 2 years now. Is that correct?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
So would you say at this point in your career there, you're more or less than Warner?
I'm sorry. You broke up on me. Say that again.
Who between you and Kurt Warner, who's the better player for the Iowa Barnstormers?
Between me and Kurt Warner, who's the better player? I think it's clear.
It's Wick.
I won't say that, but I will say there's only been one champ. We've only got one championship.
Hey, pressure's on, Kurt.
Is that with him? Oh, there you go. I love it.
I'm just saying, man, we get got Wick on the show. Sounds like we gotta get Kurt Warner on the show. Settle this fair and square. So I'll reach out to his agent.
Like I said, the organization's got one championship, and it's come in the last 2 years.
So coincidence? I don't think so. Excellent. So you've had quite the journey with football, and you've seen a lot of the ins and outs of getting cut from like a professional team, like I shouldn't say getting cut, but I guess not making the full roster, playing at a high level at arena. Have you ever thought of like playing in Canada or Europe or anything like that? Are you cool with playing at the indoor/arena level?
I considered, no, actually, yes. I actually gave a lot of thought into playing over in the CFL, in the Canadian League. Went to a couple tryouts and those things. Had a little bit of interest. Never got the full invite, an invite to come out to camp. Now, but with that, at my position, there, in the CFL, they're only allotted a certain percentage of American players per team. So a lot of the time, those American players are your quarterbacks, your receivers, your, guys like the name of the game now is putting up points. So a lot of those positions goes to offensive guys. So, but it does happen, that they pick up defensive guys. So it was an option, but it just never came to fruition, never took flight. So, do
you like playing arena? I know that you're busy having a kid now. I did like. Well, honestly, I gotta let you know now. I hung them up. I retired. Oh, snap!
2020. Yeah, I hung them up.
Everybody, you know what that means. Listen up, shooters. Wick is on the market for handball. That's for sure. So we always ask people, like, so let's say you're gonna be living out there in Des Moines. Hypothetically, handball team just magically appears in Des Moines, and you maybe consider playing. What would you want the name of that team to be?
Ooh.
You got all the options you want, man.
Okay.
Because Joey and I are always cooking up new
That's
team names.
tough.
So
That's tough. Give me till the end of the show, and I'll have an answer.
All right. You heard it here,
Give me till the
everybody.
end of the show, and I'll have an answer.
So something that Joey and I get asked frequently is like, what would it take for a professional athlete at American level to just go play handball? And I know that you've never played probably besides like Cardinal ball back in gym class kind of thing, but have you seen any handball before that you could maybe like think like, oh, okay, I could see myself doing that move, or I think I could be like excel at that point? If you've never seen handball, also fine. I'm not gonna push you out on the spot about it.
I've seen highlights, and I've never seen a full game,
Most
but I've
Americans
seen
haven't. So
I've seen highlights. But that aside, honestly, as an athlete, the calling card would just be it's another advantage. Just as a high competitive playing athlete, it's another chance to compete and be competitive and go dominate.
yeah.
I can't speak for every athlete, but I just feel most athletes, especially at the professional level, that's a huge drive within itself. It's just the opportunity to go compete, and people love to compete.
Do you
Would
think?
You say that
go ahead, Joey.
Sorry, JD.
No,
Would you say that you were driven, especially during your, collegiate and then professional career, more by a love of football or by a love of just being a competitive professional athlete? What do you think motivated you more?
I'll actually even take that back even further to football in general for me. I never, for me, even when I was a little kid, I purely played because it was just, I had it was the most fun thing, period, to do, period. Like there was nothing more fun than playing football. So even so, it really didn't register or click or maybe come into light mind, I guess. I would always say I wanted to go to the NFL, yeah, but never to get money or fame or anything like that. I just wanted to play at that highest level, right? So to me, it was really just, the drive and the love of playing the game. Like it wasn't until high school somebody was like, you can go to college, you can go to college to play football, because honestly, coming up as a kid, I loved basketball. Basketball was a huge passion. My brother played, my dad coached. Like ball was life type deal. Football, it was more so I enjoyed and purely just loved playing the game.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did that love persist throughout your career, or did you ever feel like it was starting to become a job at any point?
Yeah. I will say by the time you get it, and honestly, in college, it starts to shift into a job because you're preparing yourself as it to become your job. That is to be your profession. If your goal is to be a professional athlete, you're a professional football player. You know what I'm saying? You have to, in college, treat it as such. You can't just wake up one day and now, boom, you know what I'm saying? This is what life is. No, you have to prepare for it. So yeah, at that level, it kind of did, but it didn't lose that pure fun aspect and touch of it. But that's where it kind of began. Now, once you get to the professional level, then yeah, it's still the most fun thing to do, but there's just the added twinge of it with the business aspect, and that's with everything. It's never, not to say it's a negative or positive, but adding a business component to any relationship or anything that you're doing is gonna, it's gonna alter and change things. So, it so definitely does with football as well.
Jordan, we have a question.
And again, like I said, not necessarily negative or positive, but a difference for sure.
We have a question from the chat from Mishi. She wants to know, how long would you give yourself time to pick up a new sport such as handball before you think that you would be dominant in it? That's the age-old question here with handball. So be careful how you answer this one before you ignite a fire. But there's really no wrong answer from you. But any sport, like let's say, for instance, handball, which you've seen before, if you wanted to say compete at a international level, how long do you think it would take you to get to the point where you could compete at a professionally paid level, playing overseas making big bucks. That's not even big bucks. Let's just say like you're playing, we'll put you, say, third league German, which would be the equivalent of like AAA baseball here, triple or single, AA baseball here. So I'll let you kind of contemplate how long you think it would take to get to that point.
Honestly, initially I was gonna say 3 months, but that might be an overdose because since I hung them up in 2020, I haven't been in the gym as frequent as I did before. Okay. So I'm gonna need a little bit more time. But I honestly really but I still train. I still train out here, so I'm working out and still staying physically fit and training. It's just not as often. So honestly, I say 6 months.
Okay, that's
I would agree.
And that is it's more so a reflection on how I feel about myself more so than the game itself.
Yeah.
I think if I sit down, look at it, can pick up the game, movements and fluent and athletically, I mean, that's just my nature. I think I can pick almost anything up and being able to, dominate.
Hell yeah.
Good. That's the answer I like to hear, because we get a lot of people that are very confident that, oh, well, you can't just give top tier athletes a handball and expect them to go win you some games. And I know Joey and I'll receive a lot of flack, but at the end of the day, athletes are athletes, and handball's just another game that sure, there are a lot of nuances, maybe to excel at the absolutely elite level, but to get to a very high level very quickly, you can insert yourself. Like, I have full confidence in you that I know if I had you come out here and play with the Armada, that you'd probably score, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 goals in your first game and wouldn't even know all the rules. Like, I just tell you to throw the ball in the back of the net, and that's case closed. So, and not to mention, go ahead, Joey.
I've known you for like 15 minutes, and I'd probably venture to say that after 6 months, if you were like practicing at least once a week, you would be the best player in the U.S. In my opinion.
And honestly, that was more so my thinking as far as like when I'm thinking dominant. I don't even think I'm more so not thinking like, maybe a game go crazy in the local game, and then one game later I'm non-existent. I mean, being like really putting my thumb and my imprint on the game itself, like, and being dominant, like a household name. You know what I mean?
Everybody's got Wick jerseys, That's what we want. That's what we want. Because one of those things that people might not be aware of, which you might not be aware of, Wick, is that the U.S. is actually right now looking for athletes. So if you have 15 minutes of athletic material, you running, jumping, maybe throwing some items, they just need 15 minutes.
Winning an indoor football league championship
might count. might have some value to it. So there's a good chance that some of those guys might get picked. We already have a pretty strong player roster, but there's always room for more. And I think the intent was, the way USA Team Handball was kind of concocting this summertime pre-COVID, was that there was going to be a tryout for the national, basically like an elite national team player development in LA and in New York in August, coinciding with the Olympics, so that people would see they'd see handball on TV and they'd be like, oh, hey, like, I want to go play handball. That's what they say every 4 years. They'd look us up. They'd see, oh, there's a tryout for the national team. Like, man, I can walk right onto this. We go to the tryout. Then they were going to go to Colorado Springs for, I think it was like 6 weeks. They were going to train in Colorado Springs. And then we were going to insert them into European clubs. So it was going to be a pretty wild ride. I think it was like, I can't remember if it was 4 or 8 individuals that they were scoping out, but obviously COVID shut all of that down. But that's something that Joey and I are very, we get poo-pooed by the handball purists, but I think that's something that we think that if you can get just athletes and get a handball in their hand, like, you can see good things happen. Like, we have many guys on the Armada that play D3 basketball, D3 football. I just have them come out there and they can take care of business pretty easily, again, against lesser competition. So, but it's something that it's not hard, especially if you can't teach size and strength. That's something that takes time to develop, so it helps. And it's not everything. I get it. So I know a lot of people are going to be, hey, JD, like, you don't know anything about handball. So I get it. So But that's something that Joey and we definitely try to get everybody playing, because that's the thing is that handball in America right now is very much focused on, well, what European country are you from? Like, where do you have handball experience? Oh, you don't. So, all right, well, you got a lot of work to do because handball's a hard sport to learn. But in reality, it's really just, can you count to 3? And if you can count to 3, in my mind, that's number 1 rule. Like, you get 3 steps, you have 3 seconds, get rid of it, do something. So you get through those rules. Defense, just don't tackle anybody above the shoulders and from behind. Keep it very simple, and it's fairly easy to pick up. Sure, there's a lot more details after that, but we'll get there. So anyways, when the time comes, you sign with the Iowa or the Des Moines,
Detroit.
Fill in the blank.
Detroit.
Yeah. Joey's hosting national, so he's really pushing for a Detroit championship. But your Armada's got an open.
Detroit in general, JD. I'm not just for nationals. I just want Detroit to be the New England Patriots of team handball.
Okay. So Wick's your what is he, like Randy Moss or like Tom Brady? Or is he maybe he's like
we'll have to get him out on the court and see. I don't know.
Teddy Bruschi,
Jourdan, this whole podcast was actually just a ruse to like recruit you for our handball.
It only took us 13 episodes of like build up to get to this point. Yep. So
average trick.
Are you playing?
I've got a question. So we kind of touched on like the business side of like just your sporting experience in general. I was curious, like maybe beyond just the business stuff, what was the worst aspect of your time being a professional athlete?
The unorganization.
I'm writing that down.
Being or people are being unorganized, or organization not functioning properly as it should. I was in one of my ball clubs was not ran to the standard that others were across the league, and it showed through play, showed through everyday life while you're out there, and that was tough. So what that comes down to, whenever a contract or whenever a verbal agreement isn't kept. Okay. That's just because I'm gonna hold you at your word, you hold me at my word, and we have a contract and agreement. That's what it is. That's what we hold each other to that standard. We'll hold each other accountable and move forward. So when that level of standard, isn't met, isn't held up on both ends, that's always disappointing and tough to work through.
That's sad to hear about the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I thought they were
I wanted him on the Bills, man. He was going trying to get a practice with the Bills. I was like, man, I'll get me a Wick Bills jersey. That's for sure. Probably be like one of like 30, but I'd get one. That's for sure. Can we get a Wick Barnstormers jersey? Or is it too late? Because I could add that to my random jersey Saturday collection. I don't think
it's too late. I know they have their website, the Barnstormers website. So it might still be up there. Yeah, it might still be out there. My guy JD.
Man, people know like every Saturday it's Random Jersey Saturday. You gotta get them collected. So I've got people are like, JD, how many jerseys do you have? I'm like, go up my closet. It's like a whole section of my like hangers is just jerseys. So
that's
all
dope.
About it. Every trip, I mean, Joey's was there when I bought my Paraguay jersey. Every trip I go on, I try to get a jersey from wherever we're at. Like last jersey was from Sweden. I was so pumped. It's the professional team we were training with. It was Ystad. I got the jersey from one of the guys that I'd like idolized watching the Olympics when I started the team, and he plays for that team now, and I have his jersey. And I was like,
that is hard.
What?
That's dope.
So
that's dope.
That's really crazy. And they just gave it to me. They're like, here's his old jersey from last season. We don't want it anymore. I was like, oh.
Right. You're like, what?
Like, what do you mean? This is nuts. Yeah. They're like, he's just another guy. I was like, he's a silver medalist. Like, okay.
Right. That's clean. What's up. That's what's up.
But on the flip side of Joey's comment, what would you say is the best part about being a professional athlete?
Winning the championship.
All right, winning. Everybody loves winning.
And honestly, it's just the being able to see a group of people come together for one mission and be able to accomplish that mission. And that group to me was I would just said this the other day to my fiance, talking about how that was a special group. Shout out to the champs 2018. Just because the trust, yeah. The trust was so strong. Everybody did their job. Everybody did their one individual job, and it all comes together to create a beautiful picture. And we were, through all our hard work, and teamwork, success, coaching, and all those things, we're able to pull out and keep win the championship. So that was special. That was awesome. That was dope. Yeah.
Cool. One of the questions I have, or Joey, I feel like you had a question. All mine are written down, so I don't want you to forget yours. So I'm ready if you want to ask your question first.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of dovetailing off what you just said, but I'm just curious, like, what was the biggest lesson you learned from both winning a championship and just playing football?
Winning the championship, I'll start there because that'll be the easier one. Winning the championship is like I was just saying, like the teamwork, the trust has to be there. You have to be able to trust and know that the man next to you, the person next to you, is going to do their job because you're going to do your job. And if I do my job and the person to my left and the person to my right do their job, then we can't lose. But that also goes to coaching. You got to have a good coach who's putting in a good game plan to be able to trust the game plan, to be able to trust that if I do my job and you do yours and he does his, that we'll have success. So that's why, like, just seeing that and being able to see all those cogs all click together and work together, it's just really, I love it. I love that. And honestly, I started coach basketball now. So 7th grade AAU. So seeing it from a different perspective as well, from the coaching perspective, that's just beautiful. Like being able to have a group of people all on one mission, all come together and get that thing done. That's awesome. Man.
Awesome. We got some questions from the chat here. So Wick, how much would you need to be paid to move to Colorado Springs for 6 weeks of training and then move to Europe full time to train? Hypothetically.
Are we talking for an annual salary?
Let's say you're there for 6 weeks in Colorado Springs, and then you're in, let's say, France for, I don't know, 8 months. How much? 8 months. How much would it take?
9 months.
Oh
man,
I like he's
thinking hard on this. I got the 1-year-old too.
I know. That's why having a family is tough, man. It's a lot of extra choices. So, do you speak? What did you take French in high school? I think you took French.
I did take French.
Yeah. So I don't know. Senor or Mrs. Pena. Oui. Yeah. I don't know any French.
Oh, JD. I thought you were saying you knew something.
No, I got nothing.
Let me put this a different way, I guess. What do you think it's a realistic plan to get somebody like yourself or even your teammates, and let's just say the costs are covered, so like you don't have to pay anything out of pocket? Is it realistic to pry somebody like you or any of your teammates away from playing arena football to play this, goofy handball in Colorado Springs for a few weeks and then try to play professionally in Europe? Do you think that's
honestly for sure? I think it is. Like you were kind of getting at, or we're kind of getting to, it's got to be the right, right price or the right, aspect from that aspect. It's got to be right. The numbers got to be right from that aspect. Is what I'm trying to say. But I definitely think it's possible because, I mean, especially in the IFL, there's certain guys who get comfortable with just being in the IFL. Mm-hmm. Like me, my goal was to always be in the IFL, get out, get back to the NFL where I was, was trying to go further. Through injuries or whatever, wasn't able to happen. But there are some guys, who just love to compete and they will stay at that level, and just because it's something they love and they can compete at and still make a little bit of money and get to see the world. And other people, like I play the game, I know I'm not going to the NFL, but I love playing football and I can go travel the world. So traveling is an aspect. So, I mean, you get to travel, expenses paid, still get to compete and go dominate on a big stage. And then, I mean, especially position-wise, but most, athletes, we kind of like the stage, notoriety, those type of deals. With that opportunity too, that another selling point right there. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely think it's possible.
That's what I like to hear. So, yeah. So that question was from John Ryan, a Iowa native, actually. I always forget where John's from, but it's small town Iowa. John also wants to know what position I think Jourdan would excel at on a handball court, and I think that you'd be best suited for a left back or left wing position. So, John, to give you a breakdown, Jourdan's like 6'3", 220?
6'1", 205.
Okay, I was giving you some extra, combine numbers there. I love it. So, but you've been able to dunk since probably middle school. Yeah. So he's got the bunnies and definitely got the strength. He played running back all through high school and outside linebacker in college, right? And then moved to safety.
Safety.
Okay.
Safety.
Gotcha. So, all right. So John's putting you at left wing. So that's where you're gonna get stuck. So he can run. So he can run and jump. So we'll see how it goes. But an American left back for a club system here for sure. But yeah, one of the things that I feel like basically what John's trying to get at is what it would take to actually pool, some of those guys that are competitive, like you're talking about, and put them in a different system. So there's programs out there right now that would take somebody who's pretty inexperienced with handball, and they'd pay them somewhere between maybe 1,000 to 2,000 euros a month to play handball. So you got to meet a laundry list of criteria, but at a very base level with no experience, just basically a physical specimen. That's something that we're looking at trying to fill those gaps with, and we realize that that's not enough to take somebody away from American sports. And like you said, your interest is obviously football, so it's going to be hard to convince you that, oh hey, why don't you just give up football and play a different sport, which is where we struggle. And that's where we're trying to find what it would take with people like yourself who are hanging up the cleats but are still got those competitive juices. And you've beaten up the guys at the local basketball rec center enough times that you're like, I just gotta do this at another level. So
that's what I was gonna say. That should be more so your selling point, the opportunity to continue to compete at a high level. I mean, there's an opportunity to jump in handball somewhat early, and you can, like I said, you can really dominate the game. Opportunity.
Yeah.
The opportunity there.
So what I was gonna ask, can we talking about just the team in general, is where do a lot of the guys on your IFL team and teams you play against, where do they come from? Are they all local colleges from that area that maybe played D1, D2 football? Are they all D1? Are they all D2, D3? That kind of level of athlete?
Literally all over the country.
Okay.
And as far as talent, I venture to say most of the guys are typically D1 guys.
Okay.
Or you get you'll get your D2 and D3 guys as well, but there are a healthy number of D1 guys. Yeah, and they come from all over.
Okay. I wasn't sure, you being at Eastern Illinois, and then I wasn't sure how easy it was. I mean, Des Moines not too far. So, that just is probably the closest team. If people tend to stick near wherever their college was, kind of deal. Because I think the IFL has 11 or 12 teams now.
Yeah, and they kind of branch. They don't really go too far East Coast. The farthest east they go, I want to say, is Des Moines, Iowa. So they for the IFL.
Columbus Wild Dogs about to change that.
Oh yeah, the Wild Dogs. They are, yeah. But and so guys on the team, the rosters from the team come from anywhere. When I was in Cedar Rapids, I had a guy from Florida, went to play ball in Hawaii and was living in Hawaii. Then
seems pretty nice.
Got into the IFL type deal. So
I heard they call Des Moines the Hawaii of the Midwest.
Yeah.
So that sounds like he
Honolulu, Des Moines.
I actually have not heard that one.
Oh, okay.
But
John,
I love it.
John, can you confirm that?
I'll use that one. I'll use that one.
Yeah, selling point. A lot of people here in the chat are saying that you should just go to Germany to keep playing football and then also start playing handball. But instead, John said, instead of giving you $30,000 a year for 2 years, we should give the Armada in Detroit $15,000 each to develop our clubs further. So John doesn't believe in you like we believe in you, Wick.
I would pay you 14 out of those $15,000. You know
that. Because that's the thing. It's like, so Wick, let me ask this question, which is this is my selling point as far as developing our teams. And Joey, you can say what you want here, but I bring someone like you as an athlete to come play handball. All right, you have athletic friends, and if you just say like, "Yo, guys, like, let's not play pickup basketball today. Like, come try handball out." Like, let's say you like it, you dominate your first couple practices. Do you think your friends would come as well?
For sure. I probably, yes, I do. I mean, you also got to look at the I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the 7-on-7s.
Yeah.
And flag, or not 7-on-7s, the flag leagues, flag football leagues for adults, men.
Pretty competitive.
Exactly. And right now they're booming. And so I think, and all that to say is it's close to football, but it's not really the same football.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel, you hold on to something, right? That competitive, that opportunity to go compete at a high level and go do something and dominate.
Yep.
So, and again, handball, you got that same opportunity. It's just something a little bit different, but I think
you being on the defensive side of the ball, handball is pretty physical. I don't think people understand that. You can really light some people up, especially if you want to be the enforcer. Joey and I are both goalies, so we don't get to actually hit anybody. Otherwise, we get kicked out of the tournament. So we get blue cards, which is really bad. It's above red cards. That's bad. Bad for us to touch people. But you could definitely lay some lumber out there. That's for sure. Everything's just got to be chest to chest. Cool that way. But yeah, like I was just wondering, like at your normal home game or even away games, like what kind of like arena are we talking? What kind of like fans, environment of the game? Like do they got, the scoreboard going? They got smoke show, oh geez. Paused, everyone. I apologize. I got too excited in the conversation there and forgot to warn everybody of the of our intermission. So I know Martin's going to give me a whole lot of pizzazz here about not getting my Zoom membership, but I don't know. It's nice. So I hope everybody's enjoying the conversation. We definitely have a lot of comments in the chat, which is great to hear. So keep those coming. I'll try to get all of them answered and let Wick know the questions we got. But feel free to give them a follow on social media and check out the Iowa Barnstormers. Definitely a nice indoor football team there. We'd like to thank all our viewers. We're at a solid 7 viewers right now. We are also thankful, as always, of some of our sponsors, KT Tape, Theramule, awesome. And we're waiting on Joey to get back in here as we work on getting everything's figured out. So, as Mishi said last time, I still need to reach out to, I had it written down, oh dang it, from our Tuesday show. We need to talk to, Mishi, I'm sorry, my notes are all over the place. I gotta go find my other episode for who we were supposed to reach out to. So, what do we got here? Crowdfund to get the Zoom upgrade. Thank you, Mishi. I'll see what I can do. I probably should just pay for it myself. I have a full-time job, so I think at this point I should just invest. But the intermission break definitely allows a nice little touch. So of course there. Yes, CJ, KT Tape is still my sponsor. I ask for tape, they send me tape. That's how it works. So let me pause here while I get everybody's camera situated. It's the downside when the Zoom comes back in at the wrong times and everybody's cameras flip-flop around. So What else we got going on in the chat? Handball Shop. That's right. Handball Shop. Promo codes. Thank you, Mishi. This is why we have such dedicated fans for our show. They keep me in line. I'm scatterbrained, and that's what I love. So, all right, almost there. Just another second. Okay, what else we got? Martin really wants to, Wick, he really wants you to convince Kaepernick to come out of retirement so that he can play for the Cal Heat team, which is based out of San Francisco, so that they can win a national championship. So they will gladly accept Colin Kaepernick. I'm not sure that you have any personal connection with him, but
if I did have some pull, I would definitely make it happen. If I could, I would. If I could, I would.
Excellent. Okay, so I was right before the break. Again, thanks for joining quickly, but I forgot to warn you guys that dang Zoom timer, man. It just pops up and I'm like, get out of my screen. So I was asking about what is the kind of like atmosphere of like your home games and your away games, like maybe number of fans, like arena size. Do they have like pyrotechnics, light shows, the whole like what kind of like walk us into that atmosphere?
They do actually I'll walk you through. Let's say we're coming out of the tunnel, lights are all dim in the whole. Okay, first the arena. We're at a home team in Des Moines. We're at Wells Fargo. Okay. I'm not sure how many Wells Fargo holds, but that's where we have all our big concerts and a lot of big functions happen downtown at the Wells Fargo Arena. So it's a pretty big arena, one of those type of deals there. So on intros, lights dim down. They have, the big spotlights going around, put on the big, huge Jumbotron that's in the middle. They have the Barnstormer head, like a big blow up, got the smoke coming out of it. Guys get their name announced on the big Jumbotron. Then you run out of the tunnel, out of the smoke. The beam light is on you as you come out. Your name's up on the Jumbotron. They show a couple of your highlights, and then go through the next guy, and that's how they do our intros.
Cool.
But as far as fans, in Phoenix, the Rattlers, I remember we went out there in 2018 and there was 23,000, I want to say, or 16. Yeah, it was 23 or 22. It's where it's at the Walking Stick Arena, same arena the Phoenix Suns playing and all the, the big Phoenix teams. And that's, it was a packed house. Yeah.
All right.
So it kind of depends. It depends city to city. Okay. But all teams throughout the league have nice facilities. As far as arenas go, they usually do a great job of, trying to highlight the players on the intros, those type of deals. Fans can vary. I can't even really give you a number. Because again, all I remember is that one big, huge game in Phoenix with the Rattlers, and it was like 16. I want to say 22,000, honestly. But yeah,
we can fact check you later. But that's way bigger than I was expecting. So
if I'm wrong, please don't hold it against me. But I'm fairly confident.
I'm sure someone in the chat will light you up about it.
More focused on getting pick sixes and just messing up wide receivers than you were about the fans. So you give
right.
Serious athlete.
Because the reason I ask is like, so there's a lot of talk in the U.S. here about building a professional handball league and what that might look like. Obviously, people know what football is, and sure, arena and indoor football have slightly different rules than your standard football situation. But I'm just trying to kind of dig into what a professional handball scene might look like, which I kind of wanted to parallel it off of that, but 22,000 people, that's going to be tough for us to fill, obviously, for handball. I was thinking more like somewhere between maybe 3,000 to 8,000 people is kind of where we want to be.
Now, but like I said, it varies. So
okay.
that's a fairly common number, 3 to 8. You can run into that for sure.
Okay. What was your guys' like practice venue situation? Like, did you practice in the arena? Do you have a separate facility, like an indoor turf facility?
We had a separate facility. It was a little more difficult for us because we are out in the Midwest and the winters are terrible.
Yep.
So we found my first year, actually championship year, we ran the indoor facility, and it was shared with a couple other local teams in the area. And then we moved in 2019 to a D1 facility,
Okay.
indoor facility.
Cool.
And so I think typically that's how most teams in the league do it, or not even I think, that is how most teams in the league do it. The Phoenix teams and the San Diego teams that are fortunate enough to typically have nice weather throughout the year, they have outdoor facilities and they'll practice outdoor and indoor type of deal. But
I feel like I'd prefer to play indoor. You know, I mean, like outdoor, you got different.
But again, you also got to think for the league itself. A lot of guys don't want to be indoor too much because you don't want to get caught up stuck. You don't be stuck in indoor. The goal is be there 2-3 years tops, and then get out of there.
Okay. How many like games do you guys play normally in a season, and like what's the travel situation like? Are you guys on buses? Are you flying places? You drive yourself?
I want to say 14 to 16 regular season game, or no, 14 regular season, 1 playoff, and then the championship game. I want to say make 16 games. I want to think they do a fairly good job of splitting it, a good 8-8 or 7-7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 7-7. Sprinkled throughout. You'll get a couple home games in a row, obviously a couple road games in a row, streaks here and there. Most of the travel is by bus, unless did we ever fly? Yeah, we flew I want to say if it's over a certain number of hours. I can't quite think of what it is, but it also depends on the organization itself. So not all teams in the league fly, but so it depends on the organization, but most teams, depending on how far the trip is, will take a flight.
Cool. Now, when you guys won the championship, is there any kind of like financial gain that you guys get from like maybe like a bonus or something like that for winning, or is it just like, yo, you guys won, good work, we'll give you a nice high five when you get home, or how's that work? You don't have to get too. Okay, I don't want you to give any like specific details if you don't want to, but we'd obviously love to hear.
Unfortunately, we didn't get any like monetary benefits from it, but we got our ring. We got a day in the city named in our honor forever.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, those type of deals. But no, as far
Jourdan
as like
Wickliffe way.
Right, that would be fine. But as far as like getting cut a check or like a bonus or anything like type of thing like that, no, we didn't.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's something that I know there's a lot of talk about how we can build a professional handball league and what it would take to get a salary that's comparable to what an athlete here might want. But if it's something that people can get paid and it's competitive, and I think that might be enough to convince someone like yourself in your situation where like, hey, they're hanging up the cleats or shoes in another sport, like maybe they can make a jump here, get on a practice squad, and start making some serious money playing a different sport. So
absolutely. I think another big selling point would be stability. I know you were saying, you might not be able to offer so many certain things, but again, if you just hold up your end of the bargain, tell them up front what you can and can't do, and hold up your end of the bargain and make sure you meet those standards, I think you'll see an increase in popularity.
Okay. Cool. That's why
players player treatment and holding up, and kind of a player first, keep the players in mind, and definitely see an increase in popularity. I would bet.
Okay.
That'd be one bet.
That's what Joey and I try to keep our fans happy, so that way we have increased viewership, which has successfully been the case. I think on average we have increased by several viewers over the last few weeks. So, Joey, you got anything? I feel like I've stolen the show, so I don't want to take too much away from you.
This has been sweet. I've really enjoyed listening to you. Like, very insightful, and sounds like you've had a sweet career so far. I'm just interested. I've got 2 questions left. What's your next step moving forward? What are your plans? And then what advice do you wish you had heard Oh, sorry. Let me reword that. All right. What do you wish you could have told yourself at the beginning of your career?
Whew, I like that question. But I'll start right now. You said what was next. Right now, I'm training and coaching. I'm starting up my personal training business. I'm getting that going. And I really enjoy that. And I really enjoy coaching. It allows me to continue to be competitive. But now I'm from the opposite perspective with the X's and O's. And I love being able to mentally come up with a game plan, get my guys ready to roll. And then from a training perspective, I work at an elementary school for my 9-to-5 job as well. And so I like working with kids. And so my training, I enjoy being able to see them reach their goals. So maybe a kid struggling with his jump shot comes in, starts working with me training. Now his jump shot is getting better, his confidence getting better, and now he's enjoying even more playing the game that he likes to play. And that's really ultimately what I love. I love being able to pour into kids' passions and being able to help them further and enjoy what's a game to them and what they like to do, because people did it for me. And it's just a great feeling, and it's pretty awesome.
Excellent.
And okay, advice I would give myself. Now, at what point are we talking? We talking going into high school, or are we talking going into college, or starting my professional career?
Man, see, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's say
spin zone.
Because you said earlier that college was kind of a turning point. So let's say around. Yeah, let's just say in college, like going into college. What do you wish you had known going into college that you know now? Just as a man or as an athlete, or
mostly I would say it will be as more so as a man. I would say, I'm sorry, I got my camera jumping around. I'm thinking. I think it was more so not so much as about football. It would be more so keep a balance. Always maintain a balance in every aspect. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. And have balance in every aspect of your social life, your athletic career, your schooling, your family. Find a balance between your whole life and be able to center all that. It's going to really be able to help you focus and move forward and be successful.
Some excellent advice for all our viewers out there.
That's awesome.
Which could be applied to all different sorts of walks of life. So perfect. Thank you, Wick. One of the comments in the chat, Martin would like us to give you some mini handball rules. So when you're working with the kids, maybe like a warm up to basketball practice, you play some mini handball, which is like handball for kids, which is something that Joey and I are very adamant about kind of pushing with just even adults, which people frown upon, like, why are you having adults play mini handball? It's like, well, it's a lot easier to pick up, and then you can transition them into a normal game. So I might be able to send you a handball for them, and it's very easy. You can even, if they have dodgeballs at the school or something like that, it's the same kind of thing. But basically, it's just 3 steps, no contact, just throw it in the goal. So I'll send you the rules. It's very straightforward, but it's good. A lot of coaches for soccer, basketball, and like lacrosse will kind of do it as like and wrestling, oddly enough, they play it a lot for like warm up to practice. So something to think about. It helps build kind of positional awareness and things like that. And, so yeah, that's something that we definitely are big advocates for.
Yeah, definitely try to shoot me that link, because I actually in the most summers, and then here in the fall will be the program that I coach at AAU, Beyond Ball. They work out of Handle University, and we will be putting on a fall clinic this fall for kids and for speed and agility training and those type of things. So we could definitely add in the game of handball, kind of work on some hand coordination and some of those things. Kind of
I wouldn't be against Joey, and I might drive out there, help out if you want us to.
Okay.
I've never been to Iowa, so
yeah. We can
okay, cool.
Yeah, count me in. I like Des Moines. Des Moines, a cool town.
Yeah, it is.
So, do you plan on staying in Des Moines for a while? No pressure. I know you got you just celebrated your son, right?
Yeah, my son.
His first birthday. So
birthday, yeah. Well, no, the plan is initially. Well, it's up in the air.
All right, don't need to answer all live on the air. I don't want you to get in trouble. So, but if you're looking to come back, I know I'm working on trying to build my own kind of facility here in Columbus and working on what it would take to have like some kind of athletic training situation. Me being not very athletic makes it difficult. I can tell people what to do, but I can't physically show them all the time. But I have many athletic friends that they can come help, and so that's where I'm working on that avenue to help build some kind of side business up, so to speak. So when you talk about doing some athletic training, I think that's something that I see a lot of kids who need that. They need somebody that's been at that level, that played at a high level, that can help guide them and have that drive. And that's the other thing. It's like, you got to have that drive. Like, if the kid doesn't have it, like, they don't have it. Like, parents just want to have a babysitter. That's a different problem. Like, I don't want to waste your time just watching your kid for a couple hours. Like, I want this kid to work. I want this kid to improve. And like you said, it's awesome to see that growth. So that's something that I've worked with a lot with our guys at Ohio State, because none of them have any handball experience. So I'll get these kids that ran cross country, never touched a ball, and you watch them over the course of 4 years, they become like a solid starter on your team. And it's like, it makes you like kind of like a proud father moment. I don't have a kid yet, so I'm like, get there. But Joey, John said that Des Moines, cool town, ? Maybe compared to Detroit.
Detroit and Des Moines are cool, all right? So chill out, John Ryan.
And Wick, speaking of Des Moines, we still need a team name for when the Des Moines fill in the blank rise onto the handball scene.
Oh, that's tough.
We can leave you with some homework if you don't have anything.
The Des Moines handball players.
Des Moines handballers.
Des Moines handballers.
Was there like anything like specific with Des Moines, like any famous?
Okay, yeah, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. But corn. We got corn.
Corn. All right, Des Moines.
Nah, you can't incorporate corn.
Des Moines Stalkers. That's got a nice ring to it. Nothing creepy at all. I'm trying to think. Dang, it's tough. It's tough. A lot of corn. Des Moines shucks. That's gonna be a problem. Des Moines Ducks. Des Moines Ducks. All right, get those mallards out, baby.
Quack, quack, quack.
Martin says Des Moines Desperados. So that's got a nice vibe to it. Excellent. Martin works at Electronic Arts. He's a Sims developer, so he's got a really good creative side, which helps. John Ryan also says the term barnstorming first appeared in the early 19th century, applied to theatrical troupes that toured in rural areas, often mounting their shows in, you guessed it, rented barns. So barnstorming actually is just a theatrical move to someone having their venue, their show or whatever you may have it at a barn. So
you're an actor and a football player.
Yeah.
And I bet you didn't even know
you wear many hats. Man of many hats. Wick, that's all I got. Joey, you got any other questions for our man? We're right at the hour mark. We are always cash money here.
Do you want the people to have your social media to keep up with you? If not, that's fine.
I already put it out there. It's underneath his face, so he can't run from it now. It's been up there for an hour.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Jourdan, thank you so much, man. This is a ton of fun. Congratulations on everything you've done and that you're doing, and we're looking forward to seeing you out on the handball court these days.
Get a reoccurring guest here, you know.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate you guys having me on today for sure. Had a good, great conversation, great talk. Definitely be open to it again.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Wick. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. And as always, oh, geez, I almost forgot the line. Shooters shoot. All right, keep shooting, everybody. Take care. All right, Wick, stay on here for a bit. I'm going to give everybody your social media info here on our little transition.
Social security card.
Your cell phone, email, credit card number, the whole 9 yards. We make sure that everybody that comes on the show, they lose all their identity.
Yeah, nice. A good time and a headache after. I love it.